People with diabetes are 3 times more likely to have heart failure than those without it. Welcome back to the Dr. FICO channel, where we share easy to understand, practical, and highly important knowledge to help you prevent diseases, keep your heart healthy, and live a long, happy life with your family. In today's world, diabetes is no longer a rare illness. In fact, it has become one of the most common chronic diseases, affecting hundreds of millions of people worldwide. But the true danger of diabetes isn't just the blood sugar number your doctor gives you after a test. The most frightening part is the silent complications it causes throughout your entire body, especially to your heart and circulatory system. If we think of the body as a house, the heart is the central pump, and the blood vessels are the pipes that deliver energy and oxygen to every corner. When the pump is strong and the pipes are clear, the house runs smoothly. But diabetes is like a constant flow of dirty water, leaving behind residue that causes rust and clogs. Gradually, the entire system breaks down, leading to heart failure, heart attack, and stroke, complications that can be fatal in an instant. What many people don't know is that up to 75% of deaths in diabetic patients are directly related to cardiovascular disease. This number shows that the relationship between diabetes and your heart is not a distant one, it's a dangerous, intertwined bond that anyone with the disease must face. Why does diabetes damage blood vessels? To understand this, we need to know this simple mechanism. When blood sugar levels remain high for a long time, sugar molecules attach to proteins on the vessel walls, creating advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These act like a sticky glue or rust inside the pipes, making the vessel walls hard, rough, and prone to inflammation. Vessel walls thicken, narrowing the passage. Plaque buildup forms easily, increasing the risk of blockages. Blood vessels lose elasticity, causing blood pressure to rise. This is a slow but steady chain reaction that can lead to blocked coronary arteries, causing a heart attack, or clogged brain vessels, leading to a stroke. The risk of death from coronary artery disease is double for people with diabetes, and the risk of stroke is 1.5 times higher compared to the average person. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Normally, insulin doesn't just transport sugar into cells, it also acts as a natural vasodilator. It helps blood vessels stay flexible, allowing them to expand when more blood flow is needed. But with insulin resistance, this effect is almost completely lost. The result: blood vessels become stiff, blood pressure increases, and the heart has to pump harder, working overtime to maintain circulation. Up to 70% of patients with type 2 diabetes also have high blood pressure. And this high sugar plus high pressure combination doubles the risk of heart failure. It doesn't stop at sugar and blood pressure. People with diabetes also often experience dyslipidemia, or high cholesterol. LDL, bad cholesterol, increases. HDL, good cholesterol, decreases. This makes it even easier for atherosclerotic plaque to form and stick to the artery walls. If a coronary artery is more than 70% blocked, a sudden strong emotion, a heavy meal, or even light exertion can trigger a heart attack. A UK report shows that 29% of cardiovascular deaths in 2022 were in diabetic patients, nearly double the number from 2009. This figure highlights an alarming rate of increase. Another factor that makes diabetes a primary enemy of the heart is chronic inflammation. High blood sugar doesn't just cause stickiness in the vessels, it also stimulates the production of inflammatory substances. Imagine a small, smoldering fire constantly burning inside your blood vessels. It doesn't cause immediate pain, but day by day, it eats away at the inner lining, damaging the microstructure of the vessels. Over time, the consequences can be devastating. A study of nearly 450,000 people showed that prolonged inflammation in diabetic patients increases the risk of cardiovascular complications by 20 to 25%. It's also worth noting that women are more severely affected than men in the relationship between diabetes and heart disease. Women with a history of gestational diabetes, even if they don't develop type 2 diabetes later, have double the risk of cardiovascular disease within 10 years after giving birth. This shows that the impact of diabetes is not just short-term, it leaves a lasting legacy on a woman's body. Therefore, regular postpartum screenings are incredibly important. Heart failure, a heavy price to pay. Among all cardiovascular complications, heart failure is one of the most severe. Long-term high blood sugar thickens and stiffens the heart muscle. The heart loses its ability to pump rhythmically, and blood pumping becomes weaker. the body gradually falls into a state of fluid retention, shortness of breath, and fatigue. Statistics show that 22% of diabetic patients have heart failure. And if a person has both diabetes and heart failure, their average life expectancy can decrease by more than a year compared to someone with only one of these conditions. To better understand the severity, imagine diabetes as a silent saboteur in the body. It doesn't make a loud noise, but every day it uses a small chisel to chip away at the blood vessel walls, making them cracked, hardened, and weak. Each chip might seem insignificant, but after a few years, the vessel walls are completely transformed, leading to irreversible consequences. The heart, the organ that pumps blood 24/7, is the one that suffers the most damage. It has to pump blood through these hardened pipes, using more energy, and gradually, the heart muscle itself becomes tired, enlarged, and weak. One of the biggest challenges is that patients often don't notice it early. They think their fatigue is just from old age, lack of sleep, or hard work, but in reality, these could be warning bells from the heart. Typical symptoms include shortness of breath with exertion, getting breathless just from walking up a hill or climbing a few stairs when you never used to, swollen ankles and feet, your shoes feel tighter in the afternoon, and if you press on the skin, you'll see a small indent, prolonged fatigue, feeling tired after light work, losing interest in daily activities, difficulty sleeping when lying down. Many people have to use extra pillows because lying flat makes them feel chest pressure or shortness of breath. Rapid weight gain, gaining 2 to 4 pounds in a few days due to fluid retention. It's important to note, these signs appear gradually, and patients often get used to them and don't tell their doctor. By the time heart failure is obvious, treatment becomes much more difficult. The golden triangle for heart protection. People with diabetes often don't just have one disease. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, belly fat, and fatty liver are almost a guaranteed package deal. When they combine, the heart faces a multi-front battle. High sugar damages vessel walls. High blood pressure makes the heart work much harder. High, bad, cholesterol creates plaque buildup. Low, good, cholesterol reduces the vessel's protective abilities. That's why doctors often advise diabetic patients not only to control their blood sugar but also to manage their blood pressure and cholesterol at the same time. This is the golden triangle for protecting the heart. To make this clear, let's look at some real data. A European study showed that diabetic patients have 3 times the risk of heart failure compared to the average person. In the US, about 1/4 of patients hospitalized for heart failure have a history of diabetes. According to the American Heart Association, diabetic women have about a 40% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease than diabetic men. These numbers aren't just a warning, they're a reminder that diabetes and heart failure are a truly dangerous pair. To protect your heart, you can't just focus on blood sugar. You need a comprehensive strategy. Control blood sugar. Eat well. Take your medication as prescribed. And check your HbA1c regularly. Maintain stable blood pressure. Check your blood pressure at home and keep it below the level your doctor recommends. Manage cholesterol. Eat less saturated fat, and more fish and green vegetables. Medication may be needed to lower cholesterol. Maintain a healthy weight. Losing 5 to 10% of your body weight if you're overweight can significantly improve your sugar and blood pressure. Exercise regularly. Brisk walking, cycling, swimming, yoga. At least 150 minutes per week. Diet accounts for up to 70% of success in controlling diabetes and preventing heart complications. Some food tips. Swap white rice for brown rice, oatmeal, or sweet potatoes. Slow carbs help stabilize blood sugar. Eat lots of green vegetables. Fiber helps reduce sugar absorption and provides vitamins and minerals. Prioritize fish, white meat, and tofu. These are rich in lean protein and low in bad fats. Reduce fried and processed foods. Limit saturated fats and trans fats. Drink enough water, and limit sugary drinks. Opt for plain water, green tea, or unsweetened vegetable juice. A small tip. When you go shopping, prioritize foods with natural colors, fresh vegetables, whole grains, fish. Avoid brightly colored packaged foods, as most contain hidden preservatives, sugar, and salt. What's important is maintaining these habits long-term. You don't need to do intense workouts, just be consistent. Choose a sport you enjoy to stay motivated. A common mistake many diabetic patients make is only seeing a doctor when they have symptoms. In reality, many complications progress silently for years without causing obvious pain. That's why you need to go for regular checkups, at least once every 6 months, to check your blood sugar and HbA1c, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart function, echocardiogram, EKG, if needed. Regular checkups are a golden opportunity to detect complications early and stop them in their tracks. Let's look at Mrs. Lan, a 58-year-old woman who was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 5 years ago. At first, she only took her blood sugar medication as prescribed, but didn't pay attention to her diet or exercise. After a few years, she started feeling tired when climbing stairs and noticed her feet were slightly swollen in the afternoon. Thinking it was just normal aging, she didn't see a doctor. When her shortness of breath got worse and she was tired after walking just a few dozen feet, she finally went to the hospital. The result? Stage 2 heart failure, along with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. The doctor told her that if she had changed her lifestyle sooner, her risk of heart failure could have been significantly reduced. Mrs. Lan's story is a reminder that every day you delay making a change is another day your heart is being worn down. Diabetes and heart disease are a dangerous duo, but they are not a death sentence. By eating right, exercising regularly, keeping a relaxed mindset, taking your medication, and going for regular checkups, patients can absolutely live a healthy, happy life with their families. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. If you found this content useful, please don't forget to subscribe to the Dr. Fico channel and share it with friends and family so we can all work together to fight against diabetes.